Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are completely demystifying the modern internet economy. We're cutting through all the hype, all the noise, and those totally unrealistic promises to bring you what we like to call the internet in a nutshell. If you've ever felt just totally overwhelmed by the endless stream of people claiming they can make you a millionaire overnight, well, you're in the right place. We're going to break down the realistic, beginner-friendly ways to actually build a digital income in 2026.
Let's kick things off with a reality check that really sets our baseline for today. Real business takes time, effort, and consistency. I am not promising a get-rich-quick scheme here. This is our absolute mantra. The digital world is incredible, no doubt about it, but it's not magic. It's a global marketplace. And just like any real-world physical business, success requires serious discipline. We're completely ignoring the fake gurus today and focusing entirely on sustainable skill building.
Here is our roadmap. We're covering the new internet economy, freelancing and remote work, content creation and audiences, selling digital products, AI tools and automation, and finally, the long-term digital mindset. Let's get right to it. Part 1. The new internet economy.
Okay, so the absolute bedrock of all of this is value creation. It's the fundamental truth of the internet economy. Look, whether you're doing basic data entry, writing a blog post, or coding some complex app, you only ever get paid when you create actual value for a customer or an audience. The internet essentially just removed the traditional gatekeepers and gave us global connectivity. But at the end of the day, it still purely rewards usefulness and problem solving.
And because of that, your very first goal honestly shouldn't be to make $1 million. It should be what we call the survival stage. Just make your first $1,000 online. Why? Because hitting that first grand is a massive psychological shift. It literally proves the system is real. It takes you entirely out of the realm of just hoping it works and drops you right into the reality of knowing it works.
Part 2. Freelancing and remote work. Think of this as your pricing ladder. It perfectly illustrates how this plays out in reality. Notice how it grows gradually? You don't just magically start at the top. In your first few weeks, you might only be doing simple tasks like data entry for $10 to $15 an hour. But as you rack up good reviews and secure repeat clients over the next few months, your rate naturally climbs. By year 1, as you become a true niche specialist, you can absolutely be commanding $50 or more per hour. It's all about that steady, realistic growth.
And as your skills grow, this directly translates into high-demand freelance services on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. Right now, creators and companies are happily paying $4,000 a month for reliable video editors, $1,000 a month for great thumbnail designers, and $800 a month literally just to manage their community comments. Plus, 37% of employers are actively targeting freelancers for IT and engineering roles. The demand is absolutely there, for sure, if you just have the skills.
Part 3. Content creation and audiences.
Now consider the massive shift we've seen in media creation. The old way? It required wildly expensive studios, giant production teams, and massive financial risk. But the new way? It's a solo creator sitting in a coffee shop or their bedroom using AI-assisted, low-cost tools to reach a global audience in highly targeted niches. The barrier to entry hasn't just lowered, it has completely collapsed. To put this into perspective, the data on what you should actually be creating content about is fascinating. Think about YouTube RPMs, that's revenue per mil, or what you actually get paid for every 1,000 views. A gaming channel might pull in around $3 per 1,000 views, right? But a finance channel, that can hit $10. Why? Because advertisers like banks and brokerages pay a massive premium to reach that specific audience. So what you talk about is literally just as important as how many views you get.
But hold on, because there is a massive warning sign here. While all these new tools make it infinitely easier to create, YouTube's policies are incredibly strict. Human editorial involvement is absolutely required for monetization. You cannot just use a fully automated programmatic pipeline to pump out spammy content. They will actively demonetize that. The real sweet spot? Human-directed, AI-executed. You have to provide genuine value that a real, living human would actually want to sit down and watch.
Part 4. Selling digital products.
Digital products are honestly a game changer because they have zero marginal cost of reproduction. You make it once and you can sell it infinitely without ever worrying about shipping logistics. So what's actually selling right now?
Well, AI prompt packs are incredibly popular, with sellers pulling in anywhere from $500 to $5,000 a month. Then you have microcourses, ebooks, website templates, and print-on-demand designs where you just supply the art, and a platform like Printify handles the whole shebang.
But, and this is a big but, before you spend 3 months writing an ebook in a vacuum, remember this golden rule. Always, always validate market demand before you build. So many beginners fall right into the trap of spending months building a product that absolutely nobody wants. Check the marketplaces, look at search volumes, and start with low-capital ideas so you can learn without the pressure of having thousands of dollars on the line.
Part 5. AI Tools and Automation.
$15. Seriously? $15. That is a truly shocking number. Based on the current landscape, thanks to AI, it now costs under $15 to produce a highly polished, monetizable YouTube video from scratch. Just a few short years ago, that exact same process would have easily cost thousands.
So what does this modern $15 toolkit actually look like in practice? Well, you'd use ChatGPT or Claude to help brainstorm and draft your scripts. Then, you'd use 11 Labs to generate incredibly human-like voiceovers. Midjourney or DALL-E step in for custom, stunning visuals. Next, you assemble and edit the whole thing seamlessly using InVideo or Descript, and finally top it off with a clickable thumbnail generated right in Canva. This specific stack literally allows a single beginner to operate like an entire media agency.
I really want you to sear this into your brain, though. AI does not replace quality. It removes the excuse for it. Because the barrier to entry is practically zero today. The bar for actually standing out is higher than it has ever been. There's just a sea of terrible AI content out there right now. To succeed, your human taste, your original insights, and your editorial judgment are more critical today than they have ever been in the history of the internet.
Part 6. The Long-Term Digital Mindset. Okay, let's bring it all back to reality for a second. If you really want to survive the digital economy, you need lifelong habits. The reality is, making money online requires deep patience and relentless consistency. You must actively ignore the fake gurus. Instead, focus entirely on building that pricing ladder we talked about by continuously learning new digital skills. You have to adapt quickly when the technology shifts, and above all, you have to treat your digital hustle with the respect of a real, actual business.
Which brings us to our final and definitely most important question of the day. The internet is waiting, the tools are cheaper and more powerful than they have ever been, the audience is totally global, so what value will you create? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you next time.